financial problems, elder law, criminal law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by THAV GROSS. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. Today's topic is one of my favorite topics, the most interesting, exciting thing in the history of financial issues. How to use an offer and compromise to get rid of tax debt owed to the IRS or the evil state of Michigan. Or wait, to the state of Michigan or the evil IRS. I can't decide which. Brian Small, good morning.
Is it morning? I'm kind of bored already and going to fall asleep.
Good. You're out of the show. Jeffrey Linden,
I'm off.
this
Good morning,
is your
Ken.
topic anyway.
I love this topic. There's nothing better than being able to not have to pay taxes.
Kelsey Simasco, nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Just remember that every time you talk bad about the IRS, you're talking about my sister.
That's right, she's working there.
Yes, she works for the IRS.
I thought you were going to tell me her name was Iris.
Ooh, you know, she might just change her name. She loves her job
Iris
so much.
Rose Samasco.
There you go. Listen, we like the IRS because without the IRS, we wouldn't be able to solve anybody's tax problem. It's like, as a lawyer that does litigation, we like the other side because if there's not another side, there's no dispute and there's no need for the lawyer.
There's less
If
to do.
everybody got along and was nice to each other and honored their contracts and their handshakes, we might as well become doctors because there wouldn't be anything to do.
You know, there's a reason we couldn't become doctors. Couldn't
I
pass
couldn't
pass
handle
chemistry,
sight.
can't
Yeah.
stand the sight of blood, couldn't pass chemistry. Then there was the whole
Wait,
thing about not
you-
passing chemistry.
Three strikes and you're out in chemistry?
Oh yeah, I tried organic chemistry 3 times. That was 3 classes
I
that got
confess,
dropped 3 times.
PV over T equals PV over T wiped me out when it came to chemistry as well. That was the
Ken-
first formula they taught you.
Is this Ken Gross in Law and Reality or Bill Nye the Science Guy teaching chemistry?
Not a science.
He kind of
guy.
has a Bill Nye look, doesn't he?
I mean, he is a genius.
I don't know who.
No, I was
Bill
just
is.
going to say that
He's
he
a
doesn't,
science guy.
but Bill Nye doesn't paint his hair.
You never. I haven't seen
I need a new
Roadhouse.
paint
You
job right
haven't.
now.
You don't know Bill Nye the Science Guy.
How do you not know
What's the
Bill
name of
Nye?
the show?
Do you have
Huh?
children? Bill
the name
Nye
of the show
Science
is Bill
Guy.
Nye the Science Guy.
No. Back because we were into we were watching tennis.
Oh my
Your
God.
kids should
I will
watch
All right,
look
let's
it
do
up.
this show
But you
because
need to
you
learn
just,
about
you just
the
completely
Okay.
blown my mind.
How
with
do you
it.
settle? All right, so all the time you see all the ads, you see all the commercials. It's some scary voice about you owe tax debt. They're going to come and they're going to steal your children, for better or for worse. They're going to take the belt off your pants. They're going to just do whatever they can. Everything's going to go wrong. Garnish your bank account, levy your wages, unless you avail yourself of this secret soup, great government program that allows you to settle your tax for pennies on the dollar. So what I want to know is, in 2023, I'm anticipating that I'm going to have a tax bill at the end of the year, unless I increase my withholding, of $8,000. Is it okay, Jeff, if I just don't pay that $8,000 and at the end of the year, I'd like to settle it for, I don't want to be a pig. I'll go 10 pennies. It doesn't have to be 1 penny. 10 cents for my $8,000. Is that how it works?
You can try. That's probably not going to work out for you the way you hope.
Okay, so what do they mean? What's going on here? How does it work? Is there a government program that
Yes.
allows you to settle tax debt?
Yes, it's part of a suite of options that are part of the Fresh Start program, which these companies try and articulate as brand new, and it's new and exciting, and only we know it. It's been around since 2012. It's called the Fresh Start program.
Don't forget, it's a secret program.
It is, yeah, except everybody seems to know about it. But yes, so you
Isn't
can.
there also a secret program that the credit card companies don't want you to know?
It sounds really good, but there's no secret about it. It's
There are no
just
secret
good,
about it.
solid
So
negotiation.
is it fresh start or is it offer and compromise? I don't.
Offer and compromise is part of the Fresh Start.
Okay.
The Fresh Start is the overall
So
program.
how does it work?
It works by basically looking at your situation and seeing how much you owe, looking at what your assets are, what your income is, and what your expenses are, and how old the debt is, and what the criteria are, and whether or not you fit. If it works out, then we can certainly settle for pennies on the dollar. I have regularly, several times a year, settle cases of $80,000 or more in tax debt for a $100 payment. Done.
So what qualifies you? When do you qualify? When don't you qualify? What, like if I call you up, are you going to be able to figure out whether I'm going to qualify for an offer and compromise, or is it this long, arduous process to figure out whether it works?
So generally within the first phone call, with a few simple questions, within 10 minutes, I can figure out certainly if you're not going to qualify for an offer and compromise.
Yes, hello, yes. Mr. Linden, yes, my name is George. I have a tax problem. I'd like to know whether you can settle it. I owe, what information do you need to know?
And then
Go
you
ahead.
hung up on him.
No, I'm still
Why
talking.
would you hang up on him?
I have him on speaker.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
I want to know, how much is your overall debt and for what years?
I owe $80,000 for 2019, 2020, and 2021.
Okay. Do you own or rent your home?
I rent a home.
Okay. Do you have any savings in the bank?
Yes,
How much?
I'm embarrassed.
Tell me, nobody else is going to know.
Do I
need
have to tell you?
You do have to tell me.
I have $1,500.
Okay. Do you have a retirement account?
I do.
How much is in your retirement account?
I'm embarrassed.
Okay. Well, I need to know how much is your retirement account.
$2,500.
$2,500. And how much did you owe?
$80,000.
So,
But do you need to know that I also owe the credit card companies $80,000 too?
I don't need to know that, but that does help.
Okay.
But I don't need to know that to know whether or not you might qualify for an offer and compromise.
Do you need to know if I'm married?
I don't need to know if you're married to see if you qualify. But if you are married, are you married?
I am.
Okay. Is your wife liable for the debt?
She is.
Okay. How much does she make?
She doesn't know about the debt.
Okay. Does
So
she
let's
have any?
keep her out of
Does she have any assets different than yours?
No.
Okay. She doesn't have her own retirement account?
No, she does not.
Does she
She
work?
has her wedding ring.
Does she work?
She does not.
Okay. How much do you make a month?
She says she works. I make.
We're not going to go down
I
that
make
road.
$8,000 a month.
Okay. Right there, I have
I have
enough
2 children.
information. I don't. That's.
They're brats.
You know what? Let's stop. When we come back after the break, I want to hear about just how obnoxious these children are.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP.
We were just spinning. We just didn't know what was going to happen next.
At Samasco Law, we deal with these issues every day, especially elder law. Pat went to work for Fran.
Patrick was there holding my hand, kept saying, we'll get through this, we'll get through this.
He got her husband Medicaid and in a nursing home. Samasco Law got the success they deserved.
Samasco Law is definitely family to me. I really appreciate knowing all of you.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
Yes, 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 honey, yes. Yeah, tell them that they'll have to wait. Yes, yes, I'm sorry. I'm very busy right now. All right, I'll call you back later. Thanks. So, I'm sorry, I got called. The kids are having problems.
But these are the same. These are the obnoxious
Yes.
kids.
They're
These
not
are the
that
obnoxious.
bratty. I'm very stressed out over this tax liability, so I'm a little bit short. So
Okay.
back to my situation. So, am I going to be able to get, so that's what I have. I've got $8,000 a month of income.
Okay.
I-
So you're making in the $90,000 roughly a year gross salary. Okay, we're going to look at your expenses. You're in a good candidate to qualify for an offering compromise. What we're going to do is we're going to look at what your net monthly income is after taxes, your withholding and everything else, and your expenses, the cost you pay for house insurance, your rent, your utilities, your car payments.
I really don't spend a lot of money on anything frivolous, but I am spending, $1,000 a month on credit card payments. But that's credit card payments that are paying for the food bill that we're charging every month.
Right. So we're going to look at that, and in your analysis, what we've done is we've come up and you've got roughly, you're bringing in this much money in income, and roughly after your reasonable and necessary expenses, you have about $200 to $250 a month left over.
Okay, so
that
then,
becomes your collection potential. Your offer qualifies as you take that extra money, that collection
$200
potential, in your $200, and we multiply it by 12. Your
That's
minimum offer is
$2,400.
$2,400.
what about the $1,500 I have in savings? Does that matter?
The $500 of it, the IRS may look to, but what we'll do is we'll compare it to your expenses. I can protect $1,000 in the bank. Everything else we look at, compare it to your actual.
So I might be
income
able to get rid of
expenses.
this debt for $2,400.
Absolutely,
So this would be a good circumstance to do an offering compromise.
absolutely.
All right, let me just change the facts because I forgot to
Wait,
tell you something.
before you change the
I have a
facts.
$20,000 IRA. Does that matter?
Yes.
What did you want to
I was
say?
going to say, before you change the facts, the reality here is that if for the listening audience and watching audience, is that what we've got is an offering compromise. You don't have to be destitute to make it work. $96,000 a year is a pretty good salary for a household of four. It's not going to set
Not
the
lighting
world,
the
on,
world
fire,
on fire.
but it's not poverty. Okay, so the program is designed, the offering compromise program, and these other programs for tax repayment programs, they're designed to allow you to live, eat, sleep, and breathe, and then get rid of your tax debt. They don't want to hold you
Is
hostage.
that why they call it a Fresh Start program?
Indeed.
It is.
Okay.
They don't want to hold you
So
hostage.
the mean IRS is not really all that mean sometimes.
No, the IRS is, of the tax authorities we deal with, the IRS is actually the more reasonable of the
Compared
set,
to who?
Compared to the state of Michigan.
They're not nice?
They're not impolite, but they're very aggressive.
Okay. So, all right, so change in facts.
Yeah.
If I have $100,000 of equity in the house, what's that going to do?
That's going to make your minimum offer increase by $80,000.
And I only owe $80,000.
Right, so
If
you
I have
won't qualify
$100,000 in an IRA, what does that do?
Same result.
So the bottom line here is, if I don't have equity in a house and I don't have savings in a retirement account or in a regular account, then an offering compromise works. But if I have those things, an offering compromise doesn't really
No,
work.
but it might not.
Well-
but a Chapter 13 bankruptcy or a Chapter 7 bankruptcy might get rid of that tax debt instead. We look at all of the options and the
Okay,
opportunities.
but before you send me there, Am I right? Then an IRA offering compromise then wouldn't work very well for me?
If the equity in your assets is close to, equal to, or greater than the amount you owe the IRS, an offer in compromise won't work.
All right, so this is what you have to recognize if you're watching this. If you call some of these services, that information you can get on the phone just like we're talking
minutes.
right now in 10 minutes. If they don't ask you that question and they're telling you to give them money because they're going to qualify you for an offer in compromise, but they haven't bothered asking that question, then their motivation is more to get your money than it is to give you good advice. What we do is we want to figure out the solution for your problem. If it's an offer in compromise, we'll tell you, and then you go that route. Now, if I have this equity in the house, or let's say I have the IRA, $100,000. I still am renting my house. I have no other cash. Offer in compromise, no good. Do you have a solution for me?
So in this situation,
Do you have a solution for me?
No, but I know Brian has a solution for you.
there you go.
Brian might have a solution.
So
And
I
my
would
tax debt is 4 years old.
there you go. See, I'm going to look to whether or not your income tax debt is dischargeable first. And then if it is, I'm going to put you in a Chapter 7 bankruptcy where you get to keep your IRA. You get to keep most of your assets as long as they're exempt, and you get rid of the tax debt.
So that sounds better than an offer in compromise anyway. Are there any?
It is
Is there
if you
any hitches
qualify
to the
for it.
offer in compromise?
There's not hitches. It's a contract, so there are requirements. You're basically making a promise. If you get an offer in compromise, your debt goes away, but the condition is for the next 5 years, you have to file your returns on time, and you have to pay all of your tax debt by the time you file. So if you file by extension, it has to be paid by the extension.
Hold on a second. Honey, forget it. You know that commercial on the offer in compromise? It's never going to work because there's never going to be 5 years where I file my taxes on time and pay all the taxes. So stop watching the TV. That's not going to work. We need another solution.
That's where bankruptcy comes in, because the opportunity to file a bankruptcy.
I just know myself, and I
is
can't stay
not-
clean for 5 years.
The opportunity to file a bankruptcy is not predicated upon whether or not you file next year's tax return.
So if you can qualify for the bankruptcy, that's actually a better deal.
It is, but the thing that we face a lot of times is that people have already filed a bankruptcy, and you can only file Chapter
Right.
7 once every 8 years because they didn't get the right advice when they were in the tax problem in the first place. The Chapter 7 attorney just wanted a quick
Right.
score, so to speak.
The other issue is if your taxes aren't income taxes, but they're payroll taxes because you were operating a business,
no bankruptcy
then we
for you.
can't get bankruptcy. There's
you
also
can do
issues.
Chapter 13 to repay it. You cannot
All right.
do a Chapter
There's
7
Let's
to
take a
eliminate
break.
it.
And when we come back, I'm going to ask you the next question of if I can't file bankruptcy and I can't do an offer in compromise and I owe $80,000 in taxes, what the doggone thing am I going to do?
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Time for announcements. I want to announce we've opened, THAV GROSS has opened a new office downriver in the Horizon Building on Eureka Road. So now we're in Flint, downriver, and also our home office in Bingham Farms. We have an estate planning seminar coming up Wednesday, November 8th, 6 to 7:30 p.m. at our main office in Bingham Farms. The title of the seminar is Why Today's World Makes It an Absolute Essential for Everyone to Have an Estate Plan. We're going to talk about the elements of estate plan, why it is so essential, what happens when a loved one dies, how you go through the process, what do you need to do. Attendees will receive a gold certificate worth $300 off of any estate plan service from THAV GROSS. You register online at thavgross.com, that's thavgross.com, or call 888-235-HELP, 888-235-HELP. Remember, you can always come in for a free consultation. You can do it by Zoom conference, in the office, any way that works best for you. Just call 888-235-HELP or go to the website, thavgross.com, to sign up. Debt issues, tax issues, estate planning issues, business law issues, elder law issues with Pat or Kelsey, disability issues with Jeff Kirshner. Again, sign up at lawandreality.com or thavgross.com or just call 888-235-HELP. Also, if you go to the website, you'll see there's free reports. Resolving Tax Problems, The Real Solutions by Jeff Linden and myself. Bankruptcy, Is It Right for Me by Brian Small. How to Save Your Home from Foreclosure. Business Formations, Loans and Grants for Small Businesses in Detroit and Michigan. And The Retiree's Guide to Social Security by Pat Simasko. I want to thank our sponsors, THAV GROSS, Simasko Law, Kirshner Law. Now back to the show.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
I was married for 57 years before my husband died.
Simasko Law had established a trust for them before this happened.
There's so much to do in the beginning, but after about a month, you're kind of alone.
We deal with estate planning and trusts every day.
If you continue to have good support and know that your finances and your estate is in order, that's one thing that's so comforting. I would just highly recommend Simasko Law.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP.
Yeah, honey, listen, I've got it down this far. We don't qualify for a bankruptcy. It's not going to work. We can't do it. Offering compromise is off the table. We make too much money. It's just not going to happen. But they're telling me they've got a solution. I'm going to find out what it is. Once I find out the solution, if it's good, we're going to go out to a nice dinner. If it's not, we'll deal with it. So, I owe $80,000 in taxes. I can't do this bankruptcy. I can't do offering compromise. What do I do?
So what I'm going to do is...
Still making $8,000 a month.
We're going to do financial analysis, and we're going to put you either in one of the various installment payment plans that are offered, or we're going to get you qualified as currently not collectible. Currently not collectible is a short-term solution that basically, if we can establish that you don't have the means to pay right now, the IRS will leave you alone for 18 to 24 months. They're not going to seize your assets. You're going to get an annual reminder that you owe taxes.
So we did this analysis a few minutes ago, and we thought that I could pay $200 a month.
Right.
But the offering compromise won't work because of the money that I have in the IRA.
Right.
So $200 a month, can I be currently not collectible or what?
No, you won't be currently not collectible. You'll be collectible to the tune of $200 a month. So that will become likely your monthly payment.
For how long? The rest of my life?
For the maximum, until the debt is paid off or the expiration of the collection statute of limitations, which is 10 years from the date you were assessed the taxes.
And if I keep paying the $200 a month and then the taxes become old enough so they're over 4 years old, can you then get rid of them?
So it's over 3 years old. Did
Oh,
the taxes
that's even better.
come due?
Honey, we just saved a whole year, baby.
Did the taxes come due at least 3 years ago? Have they been filed for at least 2 years?
All my returns are filed.
And have you been assessed in the last 8 months? If all of those things, if that 3-year, 2-year, and 240-day rule is gone by, then those income taxes are dischargeable. And the interesting thing is, let's say that's the majority of your debt. You're making $96,000 a year. I don't care if you're making $196,000 a year at that point. Because the majority of your debt is non-consumer debt, which income tax debt is
debt
considered.
is non-consumer?
Mhm. When the majority of your debt is non-consumer debt or business debt, we don't care about how much money
So
you
if I
make. We can
had-
still wipe it out.
So does my mortgage, I don't have a mortgage because I'm renting. So, but if I owed $85,000 in credit card debt, $80,000 in tax debt, would that screw me?
Yes.
But if I then paid down the tax debt, the credit cards to $75,000, then we could do it?
Yes.
So there's ways.
There's opportunities.
There are ways. And that's the key. Because when you come in, we look at your situation that's individual to you, Sir Brian, and we use our toolbox and we look at whether or not what taxes they are, if they're filed, how old they are, where the statute of limitations is, if you qualify for an offer. We get clients that qualify for certain things, they qualify for bankruptcy from some tax debt but not others, and we work together to find the best solution to bring all of our resources
It's great
together
because
for
what
you.
we do is like, I'll bring a client down to Jeff and he'll get them in an installment payment agreement while we're trying to wait out the statute till I can file a bankruptcy. Or he'll bring a client down to me and say they need a bankruptcy right now. Then he's got left over a smaller amount of tax debt that he'll put them in an installment agreement because that tax debt was non-dischargeable.
And then if I've got parents that need elder law, Kelsey can take care of it.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah,
a different
call
show.
me later.
Let me ask a different question. Let me see if I can summarize what you guys have told me based upon my $8,000 a month. If I've got $8,000 a month coming in and I only have $200 a week left with reasonable expenses and I
$200
don't
a
own a
month.
house, I have no IRA, I have no cash, I could qualify for an offer in compromise.
Yes.
If I have an IRA, I could still qualify for a bankruptcy, but the taxes have to be over 3 years old. And they got to be income taxes.
Or we can do a Chapter 13.
And if I've got $100,000 of equity in the house, I can't do the bankruptcy and I can't do the offer in compromise, but you can get me into a payment plan perhaps for as low as $200 a month.
Correct.
So what am I worried about? Why am I worried about the taxes?
The
Because
only
you haven't called us.
Honey, I got great news for you.
Yeah,
We're
'cause
going
he
to
hasn't
dinner
called us,
tonight.
that's right.
Candlelight dinner, bottle of wine. We're going to enjoy. I have found the right guys and gal that are going to solve our tax problems. Life is going to be good again. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight, baby. Have a great night. With that, we will say we will see you next week on Law and Reality.
Thank you.